This is not a real counseling session. This is a mock video for a school project. So, Mary, tell me a little bit about how you've been feeling since I saw you last.
Well, not a whole lot's changed. Still feeling pretty down on myself and just really not feeling like I'm even enjoying life at the moment.
Okay. So you're still feeling pretty depressed?
Yes.
Would you say that you're suicidal or anything?
I mean, I'm not going to say the thoughts haven't crossed my mind, but I would say that I've thought like I would actually act on it. But
Okay.
I mean, the thought's there, but no, I'm not like actually suicidal as to where I would, feel like I need to go get really further assistance. But so no, not
Okay.
truly.
So you're
not
just feeling
truly.
really depressed and, low. Things
Yes.
like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to set an agenda today. I know last time we kind of talked a little bit about your life and your situation, things that you've been going through. And I already reviewed your homework and looked at it, and you had several instances of throughout the week of depression and anxiety and things like that you were documenting.
Yeah.
So just give me an update. Has anything changed since I saw you last, or?
Well, let's see. A coworker got married.
Okay.
Just kind of been going to work, feeling like I'm just going through the everyday normal motions of, go to work, go home,
Okay.
go to work, go home, go to work, go home. Here and there, I mean, I talk to friends that I have, day in and day out, but, it might go a couple days and I just go to work and go home and not talk to anybody and I just feel like I'm kind of in a black hole when I do that, and of that, emotional depression in a sense.
Okay, so as far as today's session and things like that, is depression pretty much the topic you want to discuss, you want to work through?
I think so.
Okay.
Yes. How I'm supposed to, maybe get myself up and out of a mood like that, on a daily,
Yeah.
I mean, weekends aren't as bad because I can plan things, but during the week it's a little bit harder because, like I said, it's so routine, just coming home and going to work, and coming home and going to work, and then seeing coworkers or even friends having more involvement with either their spouses and kids, or just like, I guess, going out and just having more outside things to do outside of like going home, going to work,
Okay. So it's very monotonous, the going back and forth. So you mentioned a couple of times about your friends having a significant other and your coworker getting married and things like that. Would you say that that's kind of a direction that maybe your depression is rooted, or?
I think so. Just feeling alone.
Okay.
Maybe not having that significant other, just being this single young woman, and maybe I don't know if I got to get out there more, but it's just not finding it or having that, sense of companionship maybe.
Yeah.
I know I have friends. That's not debatable or questionable. But maybe having that, like I said, spouse or significant other or somebody to go do those fun things, even if it's some of the opposite sex, not, just a best friend to do it with all the time.
Yeah.
So.
And you said that you plan things on the weekend. So do you do that to keep yourself busy, or do you, tell me a little bit behind that.
Yes and no. Sometimes plans make themselves as far as having birthdays to go to for my friends' kids, or, wedding showers. The wedding shower that was recently, of course, life's happening for everybody around me, and so I try to don't stay in my depression on the weekends. Like I get up, get myself ready, get dressed, make myself look presentable, and go.
Right.
My involvement in my church, that does help.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's just kind of that I get stuck in the funk of routine. So weekends aren't as bad because I can get up and get out as long the weather's good. As I get up and get out.
So you plan something, but the Monday through Friday it's very monotonous, and on the weekends you're planning things and making yourself. So that's good that you had the motivation to get up and get out of your house and to get going. And you mentioned having your church also, so that's great. That's a good outlook. So what do you think prevents you from kind of getting out and trying to meet somebody? Do you go places where you can meet somebody?
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm like the bar hopper anymore. You know, I've kind of grown through those phases in my life. So maybe it's just being in the right places to try to meet somebody, or I don't know, maybe even somehow through my church trying to find the right person that would compliment me in a sense, or I don't know how to say that, but you know, somebody who has the same beliefs as me and not just out partying at this point in my life, or you know, so maybe I'm not going to the right places, but at the same time, it's just at this point, at this age, you know, mid-30s, it's a little harder.
Yeah.
As a single woman, just to kind of get out there to find a guy, or you know what I mean? Not even find a guy, just find that deep friendship, even if it wasn't to be a relationship like that. You know, I don't know.
Okay, so let's take a step back and let's kind of go back to the depression and things like that. When you're thinking of going places and you're thinking of like stepping out and doing things, what are you thinking? What's keeping you from doing it?
Alone, doing it alone.
Doing it alone. Okay. You're afraid to do things alone?
I mean, not that I'm afraid to do it alone, but it would be nice to have, like I said, that companion to do those things with, you know, to share in other people's joys in life. You know, I don't let my depression necessarily come out on other people's joys in life. Like, you know, I want to be happy for other people, and, you know, celebrating all the good that in their lives. But, you know, at the end of the day, I go home. You know, and as happy as I want to be for them and those things, and I get, you know, it kind of weighs on me and my mind and my life. What might I be doing wrong? What am I not? What am I doing right? And what could I do better? Or, you know.
So you're doing a lot of introspective thinking of what am I doing wrong? How, you know, what could you contribute?
What can I change? You know,
Right. And those are, you know, those thoughts they're unhealthy. We need to try to find a way to see if we can work past those thoughts to help encourage you to maybe get up the courage to step out and to maybe join. Does your church have a singles group?
I believe they do.
Okay.
It's kind of something I've been nervous in inquiring about, I guess. Maybe now that I'm getting older and I'm at that point in my life, you know, clearly other people might be involved in it, so I wouldn't be like the only person. You know, I don't feel like I'm singled out going to the singles group. So, I mean, that's a good idea. And I think I've always kind of been shut off to that thought.
Why do you think you've been shut off to it? I mean, I know you said you don't like doing things alone.
Right.
But past that, like as far as like how you're feeling, when you think about walking in there, what do you think you would be feeling?
Judgment.
Judgment, okay.
People look at me and think, well, what's wrong with her that she's single?
Okay.
Or, you know, just those thoughts. Like, well, okay, so I would maybe walk in and think, oh gosh, what are they going to think about me?
Right.
Rather than walking in and thinking, what can I get out of this? Like, what can I get from these people who are already here, maybe, you know, getting my mind on the right track, maybe, instead of, you know, letting that depression take over inside, maybe.
And you've already done that. That's very good. You've already done a really good job because you took that negative thought and you already answered it. You already said, I should be going in and thinking, what could I get out of this? Right. You know, what could I gain? Have you ever thought that maybe the other people that are there are thinking the same thing?
I guess so.
I mean, if it's a singles group and they're all single like yourself, and I'm assuming, you know, they're all kind of in the same age group, maybe their fear is the same fear that you have.
Yes, yeah.
Would that, if you thought that, would that help maybe make you a little more comfortable?
I think so.
Yeah.
You know, redirecting, you know, how, you know, my outlook on it, or inward views on joining something like that even, so.
And I've heard you say through this session, you know, like you've pointed out several times, well, what's wrong with me? What do you think you have to offer somebody? Have you thought about that, like the positive things? What do you have to offer somebody?
My kindness, my, you know, open-heartedness in a sense, which sometimes I feel is a little closed off just because I'm guarded a little bit, but, I just try to be understanding, caring. I don't know, laid back. I mean, I just want to have fun in a sense, like enjoy life, be spontaneous. I don't know, just live on the edge a little, but not too much,
Right.
And,
So you're practical.
Right.
You're realistic. You have a career.
Yes.
You're attractive. You're settled. You don't have, you've got your life together.
Right.
So those are all a lot of positive things to bring to the table. So what I would like to encourage you to do over before our next session, between our next session, I would like to encourage you to write down when you have these negative thoughts.
Okay.
When you have these negative thoughts like walking in and thinking, I'm not worthy, or what's wrong with me, or why am I the one that's alone, or, these thoughts that you're thinking, I'd like for you to jot them down, and I'd like for you to try to come up with an alternate response. Like, I'm confident, I'm secure, I'm kind. Those things, and that's what I want you to try to focus on, because that's going to help build up your self-esteem, build up your self-confidence, and to go into these places like the singles group and think, I do have something to bring to the table. And maybe the more you begin to think positively, it might begin to change your outlook and your attitude to where you want to step out and to do these things instead of thinking, well, what's wrong with me?
Right.
Because there's nothing wrong with you. You're going to meet the person, you're a Christian, God already has him picked out. And that may be where you need to go. God may just be waiting for you to step out in faith and say, okay, come on, I've got him waiting for you right here. So as far as the monotony on, Monday through Friday, let's think about that. How can we try to get you during the week maybe to change up your routine or to begin to think differently, or some activities or something you could get involved in to where it isn't so depressing, going home, going to work and going home.
Right.
And, what do you think?
Maybe just once or twice a week trying to get out for like a dinner date or something.
Okay.
Maybe just inviting a friend out or
Okay.
kind of, I don't know. Just finding something to do during the week, like after work, even if, I don't go straight home,
Okay.
just something, even if it's going to the library maybe, or go to the park to read a book maybe even, or, you know what I mean, so it's fresh air. I'm open to anything at this point because I think of the, like you said, that continual routine of just that's what gets me a lot lately.
Okay, and I know that in our prior encounters, you've mentioned before, you're a coffee lover, you like to exercise, you're a structured person.
Yes.
So, on top of the homework that I've already given you, I'd like to encourage you to set at least 2 to 3 days this week where you do something different. Whether it's going to the coffee shop and just reading a book and sitting there, or saying, I'm going to go to the coffee shop and strike up conversation with somebody new. I'm going to go for a walk in the park. I'm going to go for a jog. I'm going to go to the gym. People meet people at the gym all the time. I'm going to go and I'm going to exercise, or I'm going to set up a dinner date. Whatever it may be, I would like to encourage you to try 3 different things this week. There's no rules or guidelines on what those can or cannot be, but something to get you out of the house that you can during the day be looking forward to throughout the week. And I know that you're a structured person, so planning those ahead may help you feel less anxious about them and, prepared in advance.
Okay.
Does that sound like something you're willing to do?
I think so, because those are all places I like to be, or things I like to do. So, and maybe talking to somebody in one of those places again, like you said, it would, those are things that interest me. So maybe I could meet somebody at least to do those things with. Like, it's not somebody I'm going to marry next week, but
that's right.
Somebody I can see there on the occasion and strike up conversation with.
And just pray about it. God may just show you and lead you and direct you to the right activity, thing that you want to do. But I'm encouraged that you came in today and that you spoke so openly about this. And I really think that, by stepping out and by wanting to take charge in your life, in this area of your life, you're really going to see some results, and you're gonna get some peace. I'm not saying you're going to meet a husband today or tomorrow, but just like you said, you're not looking for an overnight answer. You're just wanting to, I think, maybe, you tell me if I'm wrong. I think you're wanting to feel like you have some action to it,
Right. Yes.
like you're doing something about it.
Yes.
Okay, well maybe that's by identifying these negative thoughts and, you know, by trying to come up with an alternate response. I think that's really going to help you. And then by making the plans, trying to change up the monotony. You have control of your life. So I'm really encouraged. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with you next week, and we'll go from there. Is there anything that we haven't covered today that you wanted to cover?
I don't think so at the moment. I think today was a really good conversation. I appreciate it.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Feel a
we'll
little
see you next week.
Less depressed at the moment.
Well, good. That's a good thing. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.